Hey guys, I just felt guided to do a quick comfort and healing message for someone out there. It just called to me, and so I'm just gonna go with it and see what's happening and what's coming up. So I'm gonna be working just with the Rider-Waite cards, and probably these archetype cards as well. Okay, so this is a timeless reading. It can apply anytime, any place, anytime you're watching this video and you feel the message is for you, it's for you. Okay, so let's see here, what's going on? Okay, so the first card that came up is the seed, right? So, and the bridge. Okay, the seed and the bridge. And so I feel that maybe I'm connecting with someone who is, I feel like they're kind of isolated. They've kind of isolated themselves. They've totally withdrawn. They've pulled themselves out of something. They may have gone through some kind of a breakup, some kind of a loss, some kind of a shift or change that has been a little bit daunting for them, and they've kind of like narrowed everything down in their life to one thing and one thing only, and it is kind of themselves, but not in a way that is self-centered, even though this looks and feels very self-centered, not in a way that is only service to self, but it's in a way that, you know, I've got to heal the very core of me. I've got to heal the very basis of me. I've got to heal the very heart of me. I've got to plant a seed, a new seed of growth. And it really feels like the seed that is being planted, it's a seed of absolute beauty. It's absolutely beautiful. And as seeds go, you can't really see, you know, what's going to come of them. You can't really see what's going to be created of them. All you can do is trust that whatever grows out of it or comes out of it is going to be absolutely beautiful. And most seeds that are planted, you know, even the plants that we called weeds, or that we would say are negativities, they also have a purpose, a healing purpose in some way, shape, or form. So the second card is bridge, and it feels like someone is throwing a bridge. We see the various light forms. So red, you know, of belonging, of, you know, this is you belong with me, giving you stability and security. Yellow, joy. Blue or green, right? Heart healing. And communication. So there's a bridge being thrown to someone, and it's going over the emotions. Water represents emotions, but also subconsciously. It's almost like there's always someone checking in on you or checking up on you, and they're kind of leaving you, right? But they're also calling you forward. They're encouraging you to come out, and they're saying, you know what, when you're ready, I'm here. And so this is really, really beautiful. You know, like right now, you may not be able to take that offer. You may not be able to dissolve that distance that you've placed between yourself and other as you heal, as you bounce back, as you plant new beliefs, new thought complexes, new everything. But just to know that it's there and that it will remain there for however long you need, is just beautiful, right? Is just beautiful. So if you feel like, no, there's nobody there for me, I want you to think long and hard, and not even think, right? Because you'll just go into your old thought patterns, you know, and kind of dismiss people. But feel into it. Feel who could be there for you, who would be extending a helping hand. And it may not always be the person that you want it to be, but that doesn't mean that there's nobody there for you, right? So it's kind of like, even if this is someone that you feel like, oh, I would rather it be someone else, there's a lesson in that, you know, there's a lesson in that, and now is the time, now is a great time for you to shift that thought, shift that emotion, shift that feeling to be more conducive to you being where you are wanted and not wanting something that it's not for you, right? So let's have a look what the cards are saying. So, is this connected to place? What's going on? So I'll just have a quick look in the past here. Quick look in the past. I've got someone who is Okay, they've gone through a lot of conflict. This is someone who possibly grew up in a religious environment or religious parentage, very traditional parentage. This is someone who there was a lot of conflict in the past, a lot of arguments, a lot of fights, probably in the family home, but also in the marriage or in a relationship. Also someone who's very conflicted about themselves, about who they are, what they should be doing in life, where they should be headed, what kind of job they should be doing, what they should be going about. And it feels like they adhered to traditional structures, or you went with traditional structures, so what you were taught, what you were conditioned to do, this is what you followed along with, right? But there were also high expectations in the family that you were in. And it just really feels like there was one person in particular, one adult, that kind of lorded it over either you or the entire family or the entire group. But it feels that out of this, a lot of conflict arose because you're figuring yourself out. You're figuring, who am I without all these structures, without all these negative experiences, right? And it's leading to a new opportunity and a new possibility. And again, we have a seed, right? So we've got the Ace of Pentacles and we've got the seed. So Spirit's really repeating that right now. You're planting seeds. And so now is the time for you to really, be mindful. What is it that I'm thinking? What is it that I'm feeling? And whatever comes up in way of negativity or frustration, that you work through that and that you don't, run away from that or anything. And, it really feels like you've struggled before also to find what works for you, what is right for you, what is true for you. And so as you struggle to find that and align that, it's now becoming easier and easier. It's kind of like you battled to open that clam, you battled to dig down into the earth, you battled, but now the diamond is finally dug up. You finally got a coin of gold, a piece of gold. So there's something there that that has become aware to you, that you've become aware of, that is very valuable to you, that you're not willing to compromise your integrity over. So it's there's a strength that is coming up in you as well. There's a strength that is like now coming up for you. Now these two cards flipped out, and I want to say the Queen of Swords and the Seven of Wands. So there's still someone or someone here someone that you're battling or fighting, or is trying to dictate to you, right? And so you're feeling resentment for that, and you're wanting to battle that, you're wanting to resist. You're resisting someone you feel is trying to dictate to you. This may be a maternal energy, this may be a female energy, a boss energy. It can also be that you're resisting aspects of yourself, your own authority, right? So some of you, this will be a battle externally. For some of you, it's a battle internally, where you're not willing to acknowledge your own authority. You're not willing to acknowledge your own strength, your own decision-making capability, your own discerning capability. So you're kind of resisting yourself. But some of you, it's going to be playing itself out on the outer planes, and this may be someone that you're resisting, because I do feel that this is you with the resistance here, right? It could also be vice versa, that someone is resisting you, but it's making it harder for you, or you may feel it's making harder for you to really accept the offer that's been given to you by Spirit of starting things new. In other words, you walk into work, for example, and you had a really good morning start. You meditated, everything went fine, and then you run into this boss person and they just ruin your day, and everything you've built up is just washed away. So you're kind of resistant and hesitant to deal with that person, because they tend to bring you into spaces where things kind of break down. Let's see. So I feel like don't jump to conclusions too quickly, because there's more information that's going to be revealed. There's more information that's coming to you. And I also feel that, as we know, the Page of Swords is the spy card. So it could be possible that someone is, still following you, spying on you, looking at you, checking you out. What are you doing? How are you working? It could also be because I do feel a lot of you, this is the work environment. And we also kind of see that with the Ten of coins or 10 of Pentacles that is coming up here, because this has to do with family and generations, but also corporations and firm established places of business or work or resource generation. So we see here that you may be feeling observed or watched in the workplace, right? You may be feeling a little bit hounded. You may be feeling like you lack the information that you need to do the job properly or in a way that makes you outside of the competition. So there's the advice there that you may want to return to school, Page of Swords, get a certification, advance your knowledge, right? We've got the Five of Swords as well. So again, this is really, in order to deal with this kind of environment, you've got to forgive yourself. You've got to start believing in yourself. You can't be attacking yourself on the inside, because you will be experiencing that on the outside as well. So you've got to forgive yourself. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to build yourself up, not tear yourself down. And things on the outside will slowly start to shift as you shift that. Now, some of you, I feel with this, seed, you're growing a little impatient. You're wondering, okay, I've done my manifestation work. I've done the work that I wanted to, I've cleansed my thoughts. I'm focusing only on good. When I get knocked down or into certain moods, I refocus on the good. Why am I still not getting what I'm working towards? Why am I still not, having to wait for this manifestation? And even though we know it's for our highest good and that things come in divine ordinance and in divine time, it still can be very daunting. So the card that comes up here is the High Priestess. And when the High Priestess has her book closed, it is said, or when she shows up in direct answer to a question, that means that the answer is not yet to be revealed. So there's still something that you need to learn here about manifestation, structuring, building, and also patience. Patience is a virtue, right? So there's something around patience that is still being revealed to you here. So some of you are very fiery, right? Very driven, very ambitious in real. And you're wanting to bring that out more. Some of you, you're dealing with someone who is like this Queen of Wands energy. And it just feels as if, let's see here, Queen of Wands, King of Cups, you're very passionate about someone here, right? So this may be, the King of Cups is either the ideal mate, right? The ideal mate. It could also be your therapist or healer. But I feel like this has to do, one more card for clarification. Yes, this has to do with romance and relationships. So it really feels like you're wanting to step into your emotional side, okay? We've got the Queen of Cups and the Seven of Cups. And you may feel like, you know what, I've been doing everything. I've been holding up the fort. I've always been the one bringing up the energy. I'm the one driving things forward. I'm doing all the work. And all I want is for this person, maybe this is your partner or your wishful partner, I just want this person to be as fiery, to be as ambitious, to be as driven, but it feels like it's a fire and water mix. It's not quite matching. And you really want to be able to be in a stable position where you can show this Queen of Cups side of yourself, which would match, your King of Cups here. But the thing is that both of you would then drift into the Seven of Cups space, or so you think, right? Of not really knowing what's up, what's down, what's right, what's real, what's not real. And so it really feels like you're not letting yourself go. You're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable because you don't want to slide into this whooshy space where you don't know how things are going to work out, and yet you've shown all your vulnerabilities. You want to be secure. You want to be safe. You want to know how things are going to work out for you. The Knight of Wands is showing that this may be someone who's also very passionate, right? So this came in with the King of Cups. And it could be someone who's very passionate. It could be someone who's foreign to you, as in outside of your city community that you live in. This is someone who comes from far away. This is someone who comes from a different country or a different state, different city, but definitely not from a place where you live. And it feels like they're either they've only been there a short time, have moved there recently, could be 1 month, 1 year. right? But it really feels like they're pretty quick, you know, even though they go with their emotions and they go with their passions and what drives them, but they don't hesitate as much on it, right? They really throw themselves into things that make them passionate. So this could be an adventurous new fling that's coming your way, an adventurous relationship that's coming away. Some of you may be reconciling with someone. I feel that. And I feel like this person is really interested in you. However, there seem to be differing desires, goals, motivations, and where it's supposed to lead. So some of you are wanting this to be, you know, let's settle down, get the house, do all that, whereas they're, you know, more about having someone to travel with, or having someone to do exciting things with, having someone to hang out with. But maybe I don't feel they're really looking right now for someone to settle down with, whereas you might be. Of course, this can all be vice versa, right? So the thing is that I feel some of you are also rebuilding bridges to the past. So we see here across time and space, a bridge to the past and what was lost. So some of you may be healing, finding closure right now to relationships of the past. You're realizing that you're still carrying that with you, even though you felt like, oh, I'm over it, I'm done with it, I moved on from it, and now you're realizing, no, I'm still carrying something from that. I'm still carrying a mindset, belief set, emotional set from that I haven't cleared or worked through yet. So some of you are turning to the past, and as you turn to the past, a new seed of now can be planted, right? So that means some of you are going to be returning to partners. I'm really feeling that strongly, that there's going to be another go round, there's going to be another try, effort, attempt, and some will be able to finally be the friends that they wanted to be. But I'm not quite sure if, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But there, it feels like there's a little bit of a return here. Okay, I feel like someone is going to get a phone call, someone is going to get a message, a phone call within this week. A message, a phone call, a reach out, a truce, an offer, some kind of door is going to open this week, within the next 7 to 10 days, put it that way. And it's really, it's not that it's going to change your life completely, but it's going to give you validation or vindicate you for something. So let's see how this is going to turn out here. Okay, so we've got the Five of Pentacles, and this has to do with self-worth. So definitely, and this is in the past, right? So this has to do with opening yourself up to someone and receiving and being able to receive. Definitely has to do with self-worth, right? So this was in your past, and in the future we've got the Four of Swords. So again, the seed, right? Calming things down, pulling back, withdrawing, going into healing. And you may feel yourself slightly out of balance. So this is, you know, trying to find the balance in your thoughts and emotions, but also trying to find the balance in past and future, right? Now, and what you have and what you want, right? Who you have and who you'd rather be with, for example. But it's going to lead to a new beginning, right? And this is going to be such a powerful new beginning, and it's coming rapidly. It's coming very speedily. It's almost around the corner. So I feel like this message is for people that have been through a lot, and they've gone through some kind of an experience which has thrown them into reflection, right? Thinking about themselves, withdrawing, thinking about life, their place in life, what they want from life, how they're going to go about living. And I feel like they haven't found closure with the past, and they haven't found closure with past relationships. And some of them, it's not that they're biting the hand that's feeding them, but they're not really seeing the hands that are extended to them in love to help. And so they may feel very alone with what they're going through. So it's kind of like open up and allow others to help you, also those that you didn't expect this kind of help from. You know, you don't always have to ask. Some people are compassionate and they extend their help, right? So don't be too prideful, because pride goes before the fall. It also feels to me like some will be going into reconciliations, healings in partnerships with their partners. It feels like their partners have done a massive step forward as well, have done massive cleansing, have done massive shifting, changes, have come to certain realizations. And in order for you to move forward, it's kind of like you have to find closure with what occurred then. And some of you, in order to find this closure, you restart the relationship. So it feels good, though. It's what's needed and what's necessary right now, and we have to keep in mind and remember that nothing happens without reason, right? We're all within God's plan, you know. So financially, it just feels as if there's a little bit of a battle here, and in career as well. And you've got to, it's all about your self-worth. It's learning how to build that up within you, acknowledge that, feel that, accept that self-worth, right? Forgive yourself, and things will reflect in your outer world as well. So there may be some little financial difficulties, there may be some difficulties going forward. Things don't come through as planned, expected. But instead of throwing yourself into even more work, or throwing yourself out there even more, or you know, looking for a new job, or trying to impress your supervisor, what have you, go inward instead and have a look with, how is my self-worth doing? Because the experiences that we have are meant to kind of teach us to shift a mindset or shift a belief set that we have, which led us into that experience, right? So do the work, and you'll see how everything dissolves, everything gets easier and lighter, and you'll know that this works. You'll know that this is the way it's supposed to be. Okay, you guys, I'm wishing you all the best. And oh yeah, last but not least is that some of you are going to receive a phone call, a text message, some kind of an offer within the next 7 to 10 days. And it may be that you don't take them up on it, you know, it's just, but what you will receive is validation / vindication, right? There you have it. Everything's going to be okay. Take care. Bye.